Top Fan Rivalry, and welcome to Monday afternoons. You know how they roll. If you're listening to this on the Bleach Brothers Network, you know that it's the Dodger update. If you're watching this on YouTube, well, then you know it's the Dodger update. And giddy up. That means that I'm Bill. And we are going to have a good time today. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with Dodger baseball. Looking forward to it. Scotty, I'm gonna let you kick it off. It has been
Hey,
a rough weekend. America's
oh,
team got swept by the Angels. Yes, that's my new way of referring to the Dodgers.
yep,
They got swept by the Angels. Scotty, just
yeah,
take the
at home.
yeah,
It's
15
all.
years.
I'm
It's been
sorry, but
15
it's all
years.
on their pitching. They scored enough runs. They should have won two of those three games. And
100%.
if your pitching just shows up, and I'm glad Kershaw's back. And I knew it would take a few starts before he looked even close to what we want and need from him. But it's good to have him back and pitching. He wasn't awful, but he wasn't good either. Um, there were some signs and some good things, but man, we need. I know we're getting Teskar back today. I think he got activated, and then we called up rushing, and now we've got rid of CT3 and Austin Barnes. And I knew Austin Barnes was coming. Dude has not done anything this year, and you just, I mean, you can't have that big of a drop off from your starting catcher to your backup, that from Will Smith to Austin Barnes. And it just was. I knew that one was coming, and I like Austin, and he's been a Dodger for a long time. He's had some big postseason hits, but that one I think is probably has been time, especially with Dalton waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
And then the second one, Chris Taylor, that one surprised me a little bit. I knew that was a pretty more than a coin toss, odds that was going to happen. I heard some rumors the last couple days that he's been nursing an injury, and maybe they would have put him on the injured list for a while so that he wouldn't have taken up that active roster spot. And then he's like, I don't even think he's 2 months from reaching 10 years. Um,
Yeah.
and I thought, and the Dodgers are usually good about that kind of stuff. So I really thought that CT3 would at worst be on the injured list, because even if you're on the injured list, you're still racking up MLB time towards that 10 years towards your full pension. So
He'll
I'm
get picked
hoping
up.
he did get picked up. Who picked up?
He will get picked
He
up.
will. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I thought maybe you'd heard he had already. Someone will pick him up, and he'll get there to his 10 years. He's a good enough guy that somebody with some injuries is going to need
Yeah.
someone, because and especially because he's pretty versatile. He can play just about anywhere in the field for you.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I,
I, you
I
know,
wish both of them. I wish both of them luck. No hard feelings against either of them, but I totally understand the moves that the Dodgers needed to make with Tesker coming back. And I don't know why it's slipping my mind, but there's another Dodger coming back or just came back.
he came back last night. Tommy Tanks. Tommy
Tommy
Edmonds.
Edman, that's the one. See, I didn't realize. I think it's because I wasn't paying attention that he was not on the active roster. So that's why I'm forgetting him. But yeah, so I get it, and hopefully Tommy steps up and gets back to being Tommy Tanks here. But like I said, the biggest concern over the weekend, and really over the last 2 weeks, has been our pitching. Just top to bottom has not been doing what we need the pitching to do. I mean, if you're scoring, you know, 4, 5, 6 runs in a game, you should be winning most of those games. And if
Nine
you're
runs a
scoring
game.
9 runs, if you're scoring double-digit runs, you should never lose those games. I mean,
Right.
even the Diamondbacks, they lost. What, they scored 12 runs and lost to the Rockies a couple days ago, and
Yeah.
that's the only time in their entire history as a team that they've lost with 12 or more runs. So that
Yeah.
tells you how often that happens, and it's next to never. And we've had several of those for the Dodgers the last couple days, and it's just not good.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I honestly don't think that I honestly don't think that Austin Barnes was a surprise. CT3, the only reason I think CT3 happened was because Kim is doing
I agree. I agree, and I think they know Kim is going to be a guy they want on that roster because of his speed, especially.
Speed.
And he's performed all around and what and done really well. Especially for a young guy and new to the big leagues, new to the Dodgers, and I get it. And look, baseball is baseball's been that sport that you just guys don't stay on the same team most of the time. The Derek Jeter situations of the world, those rarely happen in baseball, especially anymore, especially since the 70s.
Yeah. No, agreed. Agreed. And
So
honestly,
it's actually quite miraculous that Chris Taylor's been part of the Dodgers organization as long as he has.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Especially, I mean, he was struggling up in Seattle. Seattle threw him away for fungo bats and batting practice balls. Max Muncy got thrown away by the A's
yep.
for batting practice balls, not even fungo
Speaking,
bats. I mean,
speaking of
they
Maxey, speaking of Maxey, he's figured it out. I think a little bit. He's
little
he's
bit.
playing he's playing a lot better the last handful of games.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's one of those things, right? I mean, the Dodgers are hitting. They just need, like you say, pitching. And
Yeah.
um, you have Roki Sasaki on the IL. You've got Tyler Glasnow on the IL. Blake
Yep.
Snell has moved to the 60-day IL.
Hmm.
So that means that Blake is probably going to be out until mid to late summer. And I mean, that's kind of what you expect. I mean, Blake's had this for the last 2 or 3 seasons where he hasn't, except for a contract year that he hadn't pitched a full season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, are the Dodgers a dream team? Yes, they are when they're healthy.
Yeah.
But, you got Clayton Kershaw finally back. But where are you going to get innings from? Dustin May struggled the other
No.
night.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get
Well, and
innings?
that's the problem too, is if you're not getting an innings from your starters, you're taxing your bullpen more than they need to be, and then they're going to be worn out by the end of the year. They're gonna not be ready for the postseason because they're going to have had to have thrown more innings than they were supposed to. So I don't know.
100%.
We got to get the pitching figured out, and like you said, with a couple guys going to be out for a little bit, um, yeah, it's the good news is Padres have scuffled too.
Mhm.
Diamondbacks have scuffled too. Giants have scuffled too. And so the Dodgers still maintain a 1 game lead. They're still 9 games or what, I don't know, 4.5, however they do it. They have 9 more wins than they do losses. So
Yeah.
um, they're fine.
Yeah.
And but we got to get this ship righted here in the next few games,
And they're
especially
like 20 games above Colorado.
right. And we especially need to get it figured out these next 3 games before the Dodgers go on the road to New York and Cleveland.
Yeah,
We need,
speaking of that, let's talk about that before we statistics.
okay.
The Dodgers have until you and I meet again. They have three tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday night with the Diamondbacks at home, which
Yep.
they desperately need to win that series. If they
Yep.
can't sweep that series, they desperately need to win that series.
Yes.
After that, they got a day off. They fly to New York. They play in Queens for 3 games. Then they fly directly from Queens over to Cleveland to play for 3 games.
Yep.
Get a day off, and then they play three with the Yankees at home.
Yep.
And then they start a series when you and I will meet again on Monday, the 2nd. They start a series with New York, with the
4 games.
Mets, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep. At home.
Yep, at home.
Yep. And
So
that,
a
that
lot of
that's
New
why,
York
and that's
baseball
why
coming up for the Dodgers.
they gotta get this ship righted against the D-back. And look, I know the D-backs play them tough and they're division rivals and all that, but you're at home for 3 games. You got to get the ship righted. And honestly, they need to win all three of um these
Mhm.
next series. They've got to beat the Diamondbacks twice, the Mets twice, the Guardians twice. Um, Keep that going, and then you come home and you got 3 against the Yankees, 4 against the Mets. I mean, Yankees are going to be tough at home. They're playing good baseball. Aaron Judge is on another planet almost. I
Yeah,
mean, that's the great thing for baseball about Shohei leaving the Angels and coming to the National League is now it's not Judge or Otani, it's Judge and Otani.
right.
Um, They're both just, and Otani, like we said, and we'll talk more about that, is starting to round back into normal form. In fact, he's actually on pace to even do better than last year with homers and stolen bases. So
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
which is ridiculous, 100%. It's ridiculous, but at the same time, um, I mean, honestly, at the same time, he's gonna get, he's gonna go on the bump at some point. So it's gonna slow down a little bit for him because he's gonna go on the bump. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Some people don't want him. I don't. I kind of don't. I mean, I don't. I like where he's at. I mean, just let him keep hitting,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Man, we
He's
got
got
a tough
15
stretch
bombs to
after
his
that
name
too.
already, right? I
Yeah.
mean, at this point, he'll have 30 bombs by the All-Star break, if not more,
Yeah, which is crazy.
which is insane. Absolutely freaking insane. That those numbers are crazy numbers, crazy talk numbers. So yeah, I like it.
Man.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I
Man,
like it.
June is a tough month for the Dodgers.
It-
Seriously, they're only what you could call a cakewalk would be the Rockies in Colorado.
Remember, the Rockies always play the Dodgers tough too.
And that's what I mean. Like that, like based on their record, they're terrible, but it's the Rockies. It's a
Yeah,
rival, and you got to go to Colorado. I mean, you got Mets, Cardinals at Padres, Giants at home, Padres at home, Nationals at home, then at Rockies, at Royals. That's June. That is a rough stretch.
yep, yep, yep.
It is a
100%.
really rough
That's
stretch.
it is a very, very rough stretch for the Dodgers. And June is going to be everything that's going to test the Dodgers,
Yep.
but it's also going to give the Dodgers some wiggle room, right? Let's
Yep.
not. I mean, let's call a spade here. You take two out of three from the Padres, you gain a game. You take two out of
Yeah.
three from the Giants, you gain a game. I think one of the series is a four-game set.
Yeah.
You gain a game, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah. I mean, you've got a four gamer against the Pods at home. Like you gotta, I mean, honestly, you gotta win those, especially the division. They've got to win those series. They've got to win those. And worst case with the Padres in a four gamer, you got to split it. You
yeah,
cannot lose those series, especially with the Giants and Dodgers, or excuse me, Giants and the Padres on the
yeah,
Dodgers tail. So they need to start playing like America's team, Bill.
yeah. They do. They do. Preach,
Yeah, they need to get
preach,
back to being
preach.
America's team. So they will. I think they will.
All right, let's get to a few stats as
Okay.
we get closer and closer to wrapping up the Dodgers update. These updates are going to range anywhere from 20 and 35 minutes. Depends on what's happened the last couple of weeks. Right now,
Right.
if you're a Dodgers fan, you're struggling. But offensively, Shohei leads the team with 16 home runs. That shouldn't be any surprise. The
Right.
next closest person is Freddie. Believe it or not, Freddie Teoscar and Andy Paez with 9 home runs. Let's talk about Andy Paez for a second. How about that guy?
Dude's been playing great, and you can see some of Tasker's influence on him. He's kind of taken Andy under his wing a little bit. Look, he's got a lot of upside. He's fourth in home runs. He's fifth in RBI. Um, and on top of that, he's played almost every game so far.
Yeah,
He's the only guy who's played more games than him on the roster is Shohei. And
yeah,
Shohei, that which is amazing, he missed a few games because of paternity leave, and he's still
exactly.
leading the team in
Shohei's got 57 hits. Freddie the Teeth has got 49. And then right behind that is Andy Paez at
yeah
46.
46.
Again, you're talking Andy Paez.
And look, like
Uh,
I said, fifth in RBIs with 27, and he's only one behind Mookie in RBI. So he's doing what you need him to do. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's hitting 280. Can't complain about that. Um, he's striking out more than he should. Him, Max Muncy, and Shoei, by the way, are all striking out more than they should. Um, but hey, double digit working walks, and like you said, he's hitting 280. He's got 46 hits. Keep it up, Andy. We need you. We need that
So
bat.
here's where the Dodgers are struggling. Okay. Scotty, I'll tell you where the Dodgers are struggling. From a numbers perspective, this is where they're struggling. Yamamoto has 59 Ks. Dustin May has 41. And then you go into the bullpen. Now, that's a good thing that the bullpen guys have a lot of Ks, but it's not
Right.
good when your starters aren't in the top five. Then you got Ben Copernicus, is what I call him,
Yeah, I like
Asparius or
that.
Copernicus, right?
Bonnie says Casparius is the scariest.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
you got Copernicus at 31, Kirby Yates, who's now on the IL at 31, Alex Mean Man Vesia with 31. I mean, none of these guys in your top five, three of them are relievers.
yeah.
So that tells
Well,
you that your starting pitching isn't getting it done.
part of your problem is go down and look at your starters. They haven't been starting that many games, and that's part of your problem. Gonsolin's started 4, Glasnow's started 5, right? Yamamoto started 9. Um, that's where we need guys like Glasnow and Sasaki. Sasaki's got 8. Um, and it's funny because if you go down and look at the stats, you go down and look at WHIP, you go look at averages. Um, the number of home runs that the Dodger pitching has given up, it's not that bad, which is why it's so frustrating that the last 2 weeks or so, a week and a half, it has not been good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so here's the thing, Scotty. I want to ask you a question here.
Okay.
Okay. And I mean this in all sincerity. I'm curious, right? So here's the curiosity kills the cat, right? And so if you are the manager of the Dodgers right now, you just got swept by the Angels, which again, I've been getting text messages all day from people, last night, all day today. One of them went too far. Everybody else was pretty cool, but one of them went too far. And when they went too far, I just said, "Hey, enjoy winning the regular season World Series. You won't play in October. We will. So enjoy what you got right now."
Right.
Um, but let me ask you this: You're the skipper. What are you telling these guys to start out the Diamondback series?
Well, I mean, I think you're kind of trying to drive home like, look, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's do our best to, you know, focus, especially the pitching staff, focus on every pitch,
Mhm.
and we got to start getting guys out. We can't be giving up walks. We can't be having errors in the infield, that are allowing more base runners, and we've got to start. The pitchers have got to start striking out a few more guys, especially the starters, and we've got to just be pitching better. And I don't know what the answer is to that, because it's kind of the opposite, feels like, of what it was last year.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
So if you ask me the same question, I'm going to answer it this way. First and foremost, I'm going to answer by saying one thing. Scotty, you and I both know before we get into it, you and I both know that there's something amazing that you and I are part of, right? And
right,
that's the 27 ounce club, right?
yes,
$27 gets you your team in 2 breaks. You get $5 off coupon every month. You get priority access. You get 24-hour early access. Like giddy up. Does it get any better? So, anyways, get your 27 ounce club.
yeah, yeah.
It's super simple. We'll hold on your shipping so that you don't have to feel like you're paying for shipping. Off we go. It's amazing.
And
Okay,
look
Scotty,
here.
let
I'm
me.
gonna I'm gonna show the camera real quick on that. These are the
Woo!
things that we're pulling
Yes.
breaks. These are signed. Granted, this guy hasn't panned out, but this is a signed, numbered card. I mean, it is fun. It is an absolute blast. You have your 2 teams locked in for 2 of the weeks, and then the other 2 weeks you've got early access. Just come join us. It's so much fun. It's not a lot of cost, and I mean, you end up with some great cards. Like I said, we've pulled an Eckersley signed numbered card.
Yep.
Uh, Remind me, there's been some other pretty spectacular.
So yeah, we pulled an accuracy sign number card. We pulled a jersey relic of Arson Aaron Judge. Last one we pulled. We
And
pulled
tonight,
a
since I have the Yankees, we're going to pull a one of one signed Aaron Judge that's worth like, $1 million. And
there you go. There you go. There you go. But yeah, get involved. I mean, we have such a good time with these box breaks. It's not even funny, right? So while Scotty's messing with technology a little bit there, I'm going to I'm going to tell you how I'd answer that question. I would tell the guys
okay.
if you're pitching, pitch to contact. Do you not see our lineup? Our lineup
Yeah.
can score runs.
Right.
Don't be fine in the first inning. Get in the dugout as soon as you can.
Yep.
Maybe you get out in 9 pitches. Who cares if you strike out a bunch of people,
Right.
right? I mean, strikeouts are boring. So get in the dugout as soon as you possibly can. Get rid of get rid of this whole I got to throw 90 pitches in the first inning thing.
Right.
Look at who your lineup is. You got Shohei followed by Mookie followed by Freddie. And then if you get past that, you got Teo, you got Will Smith, you got Max Muncy. I mean, you're gonna score some runs. Stop like trying to be too fine. Pitch to freaking contact.
Right.
But what do I know? Right? I'm just trying to figure it all out myself. What do you say, Scotty? Do you
No,
agree?
I think that's a problem a lot of times. I think it's a problem. I need to you
Scott's battling some technology issues right there. He was concerned about these technology issues, and he just said, "Bill, I am like overwhelmed by your awesomeness, and being on a podcast with you has been like the delight of my life. I'm worried that my microphone is going to go out, so let me fix that real quick." No, I'm teasing. But the other thing that I would say about the Dodgers too, if I were if I were the skipper of the Dodgers, is know your situations. You got first and second. If they shift over on you a little bit, maybe you lay down a bunt, get it past the pitcher, lay it down on the third base side, get the runners over, and maybe even you get a base hit out of it. Who knows? But second and third, one out is much better than first and second with one out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
So
And
we can hear Scotty again. He was
there we
concerned
go.
about that good
Finally.
looking comment.
No,
Um,
so well, Nat, I can already tell this mic cable is like 9,000 times better than the last one I was using. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, we got to. I liked your earlier comment. To start pitching more to quit worrying about trying to strike the guy out and throwing the perfect pitch. Like, let's have more of a Greg Maddux approach. Just get him to ground out, get him to fly out, whatever it is that you're out as a pitcher. Let's do it. Quit worrying about trying to throw the perfect pitch every time, and let your defense behind you do their job. And know that what, most games you give up a run or two, you're going to still be fine because of what you brought up with the lineup. I mean, we've got four guys hitting over 300. Pajes is at 280. Max Muncy's finally back above the Mendoza line. Kim's only played in 14 games, but dude's hitting 452.
Right.
So, let's and Dalton Rushing too, after being called up. He's been in 3 games, he's batting 400. So you got plenty of firepower behind you, Dodger pitchers. So let's stop worrying about, you get tight out there, hoping you don't try not to give up a run or two, and all of a sudden we've given up 5 in an inning, and it's you've tried to throw the perfect pitch, you walk a guy, it gets frustrating.
Well, again, when you're throwing a baseball 90 plus miles an hour for a batter to tee that up and get it to a place where a defender, where the 7 guys behind you aren't, that is a feat in and of itself, right?
Right.
That is a difficult thing to do in and of itself. Now, it happens,
Yep.
but I mean, most guys are going to get the best of the best are going to get 3 hits out of every 10 at bats.
Right.
So, not worried too much about that,
Me
right?
neither.
So, that being said, that's what I would do. Scotty, any final thoughts as we wrap up Dodger Update this week?
I think just to echo what we've talked about. hopefully the Dodgers can right the ship the next few games before they get a day off and travel to New York. They've got a tough stretch coming the rest of this month and into June. There's not a lot of um, and like I said, I don't want to call the Rockies a cakewalk because they're not. I mean, yeah, they have one of the worst records in the history of baseball through this point, but they still play the Dodgers tough. And look, they're still professional baseball players,
Mhm.
and you can't. Hopefully, they don't. That the worst thing that could happen is go to Colorado and lose 2 or 3 games there. So let's get the ship righted. We can figure out some pitching and whatever
Make
else
it
we need.
make it happen from there. So, well, I love doing these updates. If you ever have a desire to be on a top 10 rivalry Dodgers update with Scott or I, we love to have you. There's a lot of
Yes.
fun things to talk about. You got a Dodger Yankee, Dodger Mets, 2 Dodger Mets, 1 Dodger Yankee series coming up here pretty quick. So it is going to be, um, it's going to be a tough month for the Dodgers. Now, can we see Shohei get 30 home runs before the All-Star break? Very possibly. Could
Good.
he be at 35 home runs by the All-Star break? I mean, he very well could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's caught fire recent. So 16 home runs, and Aaron Judge is on another planet anyway. So
Oh man. Yeah. Right now he
Judge
is,
has got a shot to hit 400.
which is crazy.
Yeah, of
I would love. By the way, though, I would love to see it. We haven't seen
course
a
he would.
400 hitter
Everybody would.
since Ted Williams, and yeah. So
Everybody
hopefully,
would.
hopefully for Yankees fans, he keeps it going, and especially into the playoffs for the
Yeah,
sake of Yankees fans. So
yeah,
that's what we hope.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, my friends. Well, we appreciate you. Obviously, Scotty and I are going to stick around and talk for a second, but we appreciate you. Hopefully, you're enjoying this. Hit that subscribe button so that you can catch more of the YouTube content. We thank Bleacher Brothers for putting us on. We look forward to having more conversations with them. I had a nice conversation today with AJ over at the Bleacher Brothers. And so let's definitely have some conversation soon.
Yep.
Everybody, enjoy yourselves and enjoy baseball. We'll talk to you soon.